What's going on, guys? This is Garrett and Lincoln from RUNAMUCK MMA, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming at you with our somewhat semi-latest fuck coverage.
Garrett, is it Monday?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, because
the fights happened on Saturday, my guy.
I know it's been like 2 whole days.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's some stuff to talk about, not a lot to talk about, but there's obviously
I tried.
There's a lot of stuff going on in our everyday lives, and yeah, so obviously you guys know we usually talk about this shit on Sunday. It's usually when we have our setups scheduled for, so we can have these calls and we can talk to each other. We do the face-to-face, the screen-to-screen, commentate. Unfortunately, like again, it just didn't happen yesterday. But we decided to get at it today, Monday. And that is what we're doing. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into our coverage of UFC Fight Night Felder versus Dos Anjos.
All right, cheers, boys.
There you go. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, so you don't have to be the one that says it. This is not a great fight card.
Man, the prelims just weren't banging. I say it every week that the prelims are banging. Prelims just didn't bang.
No, it just didn't bang.
I'll tell you what did bang, though. That fucking mouth guard, dude. The most elusive motherfucker ever.
Oh, yeah, for real. That was, that was the second bout of the night. We'll go ahead and just go fight by fight, just basically talk about what happened. Heavyweight bout, start off the night, Don'Tale Mayes versus Roque Martinez. Man from Guam. Don'Tale Mayes basically just beat the hell out of him for a few rounds, and it wasn't until the final round did Martinez actually start showing a little bit of gumption. Maybe had the potential to get the knockout, but unfortunately just kind of let it go.
Didn't deliver.
It started going for the takedown when he shouldn't have gone for the takedown. Don'Tale Mayes was able to squeeze out I believe, a unanimous decision victory.
Barely.
Yeah, and then onto what you were just talking about, the welterweight matchup between Alex Morono versus Rhys McKee, who I remember Rhys McKee as being the first person I watched Khamzat Chimaev beat the fuck out of.
Yeah.
So that's the only impression I have.
That's how most people's impressions of him are. Is just getting rocked, you know?
Yeah. And unfortunately he came up short yet again. In this bout, losing yet another decision loss. I'm sorry, a decision victory to Alex Morono. And this goes into probably the most interesting thing that happened on the prelim card.
Dude, give that mouth guard a performance bonus of the night. Come on.
For real. So Rhys McKee was up against Cage, and I believe he was getting kneed in the face and punched and stuff like that, and his mouth guard just popped out. But instead of falling in a place that was convenient and easy to get to, it fell in between the crevices of the cage and the canvas. And Jason Herzog found a halt in the action, was able to stop it. And they tried with all their might to find that mouth guard.
It's like the cat stuck in the tree, and everybody from the village had to come over to help.
Yeah, pretty much. You had Cage Hands helping. You had Cutman trying to help. You even had Rhys McKee trying to help. Jason Herzog was trying all he could. From inside the cage, they're lifting up the banners, just trying to find this fucking thing, and they could not find it. Even Michael Bisping and I believe Brendan Fitzgerald were just kind of sitting there thinking to themselves, this is a first for sure. I've never seen this happen.
It's nothing as funny as this has happened since the ice bucket spill.
Oh God. Oh my God, that was embarrassing, wasn't it?
This is the same level. If there was a crowd there for this, oh God, they would have been booing. Those guys would have been sweating.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been so much worse.
Could you imagine paying for like a pay-per-view card and
then there's 30 minutes of them looking for a mouth guard?
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
So I think like 5 minutes or something goes by, and I think they do actually eventually get the mouth guard, rinse it off, and they let Rhys McKee stick it back in his head so he can get the shit beat
Dana White's going to make a new rule where if they lose their mouthpiece like that, they just can't use a mouthpiece for the rest of the fight.
Well, they should just have spare mouthpieces.
They should. The coaches, we always had spare gear whenever we were wrestling, dog.
Yeah. Even Bisping was like, I've got mouthpieces in my bag right here.
Yeah.
Like he's commentating, yeah, he has mouthpieces on deck.
He goes, I got a spare eye in there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, easily best part about that fight, best part about that prelims.
It's kind of a gravelly fight. Speaking of gravelly, Tony Gravely in with the decision. You like that segue?
I could just like see the gears like turning in your head. Like you saw, I watched your eyes look at the screen and then say that line.
Because I just looked up and I was like, all right, who's next? And I went, oh, Gravely.
Oh God. All right. Well, yeah, Gravely, Tony Gravely, whatever the fuck we want to call him, Tony versus Geraldo de Freitas Jr. Came out, and this was, from what I understand, this was a huge grapple match back and forth, a lot of takedowns and a lot of submission attempts, and Tony eventually just kind of came out on top in what was, just from my perspective, pretty close. He definitely had the edge in control and takedowns, obviously, but yeah, it was good, and he walked away with a unanimous decision. And then we moved to, and I believe the only thing I read up about Tony Gravely was that he was in the losing column for a really long time. Yeah, let me actually take a look here. It says 0 submission attempts, but that's bullshit. That's definitely it's hard. It's weird. Whatever they quantify, what counts as a submission attempt? Like, did they?
I think it's whenever it's locked in.
Yeah, like they actually have to be in the submission for it to actually be considered an attempt. Not
something like that.
Not that it's like they're not taking into account the actual literalness of the word attempt.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Hey, we still have 3 judges who gave like terrible decisions later in the night. So let's.
Oh, you think so?
Just the one guy.
All right, we'll see. So yeah, and I think Gravely, I think he switched camps to American Top Team, and that's
where it's at.
That's where he credits his newfound success. And American Top Team is just one of the best, camps out there. We still have to make that video on fucking MMA camps, super camps.
We do.
We'll get to that.
Battle of the Kings.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on, we had the main event of the prelims. Do you want to take this somewhere else, Mr. Sippy Sap?
You can call me Bob Sap.
Jesus Christ.
I'm over here with the jokes today. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. No, apparently
we had random art.
No, it's okay, because apparently we're too boring.
Yeah, we are too boring. Pump it up a little bit.
Exactly. So then we have women's strawweight.
Bring that shit up anymore.
This is Ronda Marcos and Kanaka Murata. Murata just kind of came in here and just dominated. Basically,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
the shots she was landing at certain points.
Yeah, the shots, the takedowns, the submission attempts. I mean, it was all there for
She was
Murata.
Just all over it.
I mean, Marcos obviously being really tough.
Got 83% accuracy on total strikes.
Yeah, it's
that's amazing.
Yeah, just kick-ass job overall.
12-1. Here we go.
Yeah, so I believe she's a Japanese fighter. I think she's going to start making a run at the title soon.
I can see it.
Yeah. So I would like to see.
Need more. We need more women fighters. Always. We need more higher class women fighters.
I would like to see Murata versus Yan Xiaonan.
Oof.
Because they're both aiming.
That's the fight
they're both going for that strawweight gold. So
that's the fight to make, my guy.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, moving on.
Both very similar in records right now too. 12-1 to 13-1.
Yeah, very close. And Yan Xiaonan's definitely got that striking pedigree, and I would like to see Murata, who's very dominant, it seemed, in all categories. I'd like to see that matchup for sure.
Yeah, she's got the numbers to put to back as well.
Yeah. So anyway, moving into the main card, we have another women's strawweight with Corey McKenna versus Ray K. Henson. This was you must have been at this point in the night of watching it, because you texted me about The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know what you were talking about yet, because Corey McKenna just was like the furthest thing from my mind. But then we watched it, and I was like, oh shit.
Corey McKenna, the Hobbit from the Fighter Contender series. We covered her.
Yeah. This is probably that decision you were talking about.
It is
where it didn't seem like she should have won.
Yeah.
And when I was watching
I was happy.
Sure.
I'm always a big supporter, but I just didn't think she deserved that dub.
No, yeah, I'll agree with that. It's kind of.
I think it should have been a split decision in Hanson's corner.
Probably,
that's how I saw it. Because I was like, one person might say she won, but for the most part, she was just getting She's just getting beat up for 3 rounds.
Yeah, two
She
submission
started to
attempts,
bring it
2
back towards the end of
takedowns.
3.
Yeah, and maybe that's what they were really looking at, but to call it a unanimous decision, I think it's pretty shocking. I mean, they probably look
That's
at the
the only
total
reason I thought it was
strikes.
ridiculous is that it was unanimous. If it was split, maybe. If it was split Hansen, I would have seen that more likely. I just thought it was a little silly.
Yeah, but the good news is Contender Series alumni, Team Alpha
On
Male,
the up and up.
gets to walk away with a nice little victory there. So
Hey, I'm always happy for Corey McKenna.
yeah, especially considering this is her UFC debut. She really,
Yeah, I didn't want her to lose, but
yeah, I wanted her to win, but I was like,
for
she probably
sure.
shouldn't have won.
Yeah, same. We're on the same page right now.
Yeah. So she kind of came out. I mean, she definitely showed strength for sure. She was definitely physically stronger.
She showed heart.
Than Hansen. Whenever Hansen had her in a tough spot, McKenna just had to really just power out of it. But I think when it came down to just technique, I feel like Hansen was kind of edging her out.
For sure.
Might have been a bit of a steal there. So.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So moving on, we have
robbery. Just a little.
Just a little snatch there. Stole the Ring of Power.
Just a little pickpocketing.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So the Welsh girl, she moves on, and then we have, the catchweight bout you and I were just talking about before we open this fight up.
Dude, Buck Strickland's son, though.
Yeah, right.
Buck Strickland's son is really representing Strickland Propane.
Let me just say something real quick. Buck Strickland actually does have a son. And his name,
does he? His name is Sean?
No, his name is.
Wait, is it the drug addict one?
No. It's Buck Strickland calls him Ray Roy. I can't remember what his real name is, though. He has a real name. He says something like.
Is he like illegitimate or something?
Yeah, he's a bastard.
Okay.
He's like he lives in Tennessee.
Okay. I think I remember this.
So it's supposed to be. So technically, it's supposed to be a strict.
We're talking about King of the Hill, by the way.
Yes. For those of you that have no idea at all what we're talking about my favorite show of all time, King of the Hill. One of my favorite of all time, and top 3 for sure.
Favorite? Shut up.
And
you watched it from beginning to end, like almost every time I'm over. I don't want to hear it.
I've watched it at least 5 or 6 times.
It's ridiculous. It's like 13 seasons.
I need to rewatch it soon. Because I'm starting to forget the quotes. But anyway, that's not the point.
Dang on, make Lamar go boom.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, talking about go boom, Sean Strickland put out our man Brendan Allen here in the second round. Yeah.
There we go.
Some good terminology there. Made a man go boom.
Dude, he really put the pain in propane.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's it. That is what's up. So pretty much just put the hands on him from start to finish, and came out with a pretty successful victory here. I tell you, Sean Strickland has really been on a tear since his 2-year layoff.
He's got to make up for lost time.
Yeah, so he beat I believe Jack Marshman in his last bout, and has now come out and has had this crazy turnaround since Halloween. Has come back to beat Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen, who I believe had an opponent that he was supposed to be facing. I can't remember his name, nor could I find it, unfortunately. But unfortunately, due to a positive COVID-19 test, his opponent had to drop out, and Sean Strickland was able to step in, thus being a catchweight bout for both gentlemen. So yeah, but Sean Strickland actually came in here, I believe, the underdog, and smacked the shit out of Allen. So
yeah, he did.
So then we moved on to another women's strawweight. There's so many strawweight fights. It's crazy just how many. When you really look at it, from all the other women's divisions, there's so much strawweight. There's so many.
So many.
So we had Ashley Yoder versus Miranda Granger. This one, I'm trying to. This one, it's just like, it's just like one of those fights. Maybe it's because it's like 2 days later. I can barely remember this fight.
That's sad, Garrett. Are you trying to disrespect these women right now?
I'm not trying to disrespect these women. This is actually now when the things that I do.
Well,
remember,
I'll give you the breakdown real fast.
Uh-huh.
Ashley Yonder put some hands on Miranda, and Miranda did her best to reclaim those. But the takedowns, the takedown attempts, the submission attempts, they just made it look not good in Miranda's case, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember like the acrobatics involved. I remember a lot of.
I remember the rear naked
exchanges.
chokes. Yeah. There's a few times where I looked down at my phone just assuming that she was going to tap in a second.
Yeah. Oh God! At the end of the second, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe it's at the end of both the first and the second.
Maybe. But I definitely remember at the end of the second, Miranda Granger was very, very close to tapping.
Yeah,
But she had
that's how I
only
remember.
10 seconds left.
And then we look back on it, and there wasn't. This
Oh
never
no!
happened.
You know what it was? It was the third round. It was the end of the third round, and she was about to tap, and then it went into the decision. That's what I remember. That's what happened. Yeah.
I'm upset. I'm upset with your memory right now.
Well, shut up. Anyway, anyway, we have the co-main event of the evening with Abdul
Chaos Williams.
Yeah, it's weird because it says right here, Callan Williams.
Yeah, Chaos is just his moniker.
Oh, okay.
He
Because I
prefers
thought
to go by that. His name's not actually Chaos.
I thought I thought like it was.
No, he like
Chaos.
redubbed. No, but he like won't let them. Like whenever they're promoting him, it's Chaos Williams.
Interesting.
But if you look on like official stuff, it's Kalen.
Yeah, I was about to say because this guy's the real Chaos.
Yeah,
this is the real
That's
Chaos.
why he's just like you. He's like a method actor. You have to refer to him by his character name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, what can you really say?
Abdul just really had no chance.
No. You know what this reminded me of?
He fell for the fake and then just got bopped right on the chin.
This fight really reminded me of Corey Anderson versus Blachowicz.
Yeah, very similar, where he just walked right into one and it didn't look like he should have not got knocked out then.
Well, it was kind of like they both went for the leg kick. And they went for the leg kick, and I mean, just a power straight, you know, that power hand, power side.
Because he did like the jab, and it kind of hit his forearms, and then he was just like, "All right, peekaboo," and then just got hit again.
Yeah, it
was crazy.
Unconscious.
Yeah, only 7 total hits between the two of them.
Yeah, how nuts is that? I mean, 30 seconds. Yeah. Excuse me.
This was one where I didn't look, like I was looking at my phone for just a second and I could feel the energy building up and I looked up right as it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how you can kind of just feel the energy all circulating to a knockout all of a sudden?
Yeah, like a Lucario.
Exactly, like a Lucario.
Yeah.
I just watched that movie the other day.
Oh, with Lucario? What's that one called?
Like the Mystery of Mew or whatever.
Oh, okay. I got
Lucario and the Mystery of Mew or something.
And then there's like a bunch of the Reggies in that and stuff.
Yeah, the Reggie. Yeah, because they're like the guardians of the secret world. We're getting into such nerdy stuff on the side of it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, we'll go ahead and just move on.
To the main event of the evening.
Without a doubt.
The best fight.
The best fight. Obviously, it got Fight of the Night honors.
Yeah.
That much is true.
The craziest part, in my opinion, is that Paul Felder had to interview Rafael dos Anjos right after and ask him his opinions on the fight.
I saw that.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you're referring to. Let me see if I can actually pull it up.
I think it was made before because it was. I think the actual context of the meme was that Paul Felder knocks Rafael out.
Here, hold on.
Oh, big screen. Oh, wait for it. Wait for it.
If I can get it to fucking. No, that just made it worse.
No, that made it worse. Hold it farther back.
It's even worse. Okay. Well,
no, never mind.
We probably can't do this.
No, you're just. It's all.
You see the picture, but you can't see the text. Oh, there it is.
No, you can't. Oh yeah, a look into the future. Paul Felder interviews RDA inside the octagon after knocking him out cold in the first round. Do you know how crazy it would be if he did switch into his suit all of a sudden after the fight?
Oh my god!
Like, wait, is that the same guy?
Yeah, that was
casuals wouldn't know it was the same guy.
Yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, let's talk about this fight. Let's talk about this because this is apparently for the judges. This was a lot closer than some people would agree. Because this was a split decision victory for RDA. And obviously RDA came out. He looked golden. He came out here ready to fight a wrestler in Islam Makhachev, who unfortunately had to pull out due to staph infection. We all know the story about how Paul Felder came in and accepted the fight on 5 days' notice. If you want to know more about that, we'll link in the description to the video.
Link in the description.
I did on it last week in prep for the fight, but RDA looked solid. He looked the way he should look in lightweight. You and I were talking about this. I mean, RDA. People were sleeping on RDA throughout his welterweight years, just because he was losing to a lot of the top tier guys, Covington, Usman, all those guys.
It's crazy when all of your losses are to former interim or champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he's got Khabib, he's got Covington, he's got what's
Eddie
his
Alvarez.
name? Eddie Alvarez, Kamaru.
Yeah, Covington. He just his most recent fight, he had lost to Michael Chiesa, and I believe it was after his
Aside from
reign.
Michael Chiesa.
Yeah, his reign of failures in the welterweight division, I think, prompted him to come back to the lightweight division. The biggest thing I think prompted him to come back to the lightweight division was actually Khabib Nurmagomedov retiring.
His departure.
Yeah, and just kind of leaving, getting out of Dodge, and I think that really helped Rafael feel like he could get back into the pool pretty easily.
And he did a fantastic job. Do you want to hear a crazy stat that I heard?
What's that?
The commentators are 0-4 in 2020. With DC Dominic
Paul Felder. Who's the other one?
I forget, but that's the stat I saw. DC.
Wow.
Hold on. I'll look. Who was the last one?
That's
was
funny.
it just Dan? Was it just Dan Hardy as a joke?
that would be funny.
I think that's what the last thing was. I didn't really read it, but I just thought it might have been a meme. Yeah. But definitely at least 3-0 or 0-3 this year.
Yeah, that's
maybe it was just 0-3 and I just missed.
You know what? It's 0-4 because Paul Felder fought twice.
I thought he fought last year.
No, he fought Dan Hooker.
When he fought Dan Hooker, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. That has to be what it was.
It was Paul Felder twice. You're right.
Yeah, which sucks. But I mean, Paul Felder, he's just in this weird space right now. We all know what happened with his fight against Dan Hooker, which again lasted, I believe. So another one of those things where it was only, gosh, what was it? He had fucked up and he was out. Or no, he had lost his passion. That's what he said. But he still made it another split decision. Loss. So he made another close fight. And then he comes in on 5 days' notice, not even being in an MMA gym for 4 months against a former lightweight champion. And I mean, the guy kills it. You know?
Amazing.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My screen was doing a weird thing and I was trying to fix it without drawing attention to it.
You drew attention to it by cutting off your camera.
I didn't mean to. I was doing it. I was trying to fix it without doing anything. There it goes.
Lol. That's funny.
I thought you wouldn't notice if I did it quickly.
Nah, it's still blank entirely.
Is it?
Yeah, you're a black screen. I'm gonna keep talking while you figure this out. Okay, there you are.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, RDA came in here with his grappling game on point. Basically, Paul Felder never really had a chance. He never really had a chance. I mean, we've known plenty of fighters who came in on a lot of short notice fights, but 5 days is pretty hard to come by.
When they cut 20 pounds or so.
Yeah, because he was around the 170s, having to get to 155. Actually made it surprisingly, and we know how hard the weight cut was for him. And a lot of people were saying that if there's going to be anything that's going to be hard for Paul Felder, it was that weight cut. But I think he was able to do it fine. I think the thing that really hurt him more than
didn't really seem like he gassed out as much.
No, that's what I was saying.
He was just getting his ass kicked.
Because I mean, if you're training for a triathlon, your cardio is not. I don't think should be called into question.
Not at all.
I think the thing that hurt Paul Felder the most was that he just hadn't been training for an MMA fight in.
And it seemed like, and it also seemed like some of the, how do I word this? He was connecting and he was doing good combinations, but it's like the combinations didn't have as much power behind them.
Right. Not to mention RDA is tough as fuck.
Yeah. He never gets put out.
No.
He just gets decision losses.
Yeah. Decision loss to Chiesa. Well, decision loss to Edwards. Decision loss to Usman. Decision loss to Covington. I mean, all decisions here.
Yeah. I'm sure he's got 1 or 2 knockouts somewhere.
And that's not to say that in his welterweight years he did not have success. I mean, he went 3-0 in 2017.
Yeah, originally. Yeah. He was doing really good. It just sometimes bad matchups,
Yeah, I think once it got into 2018, it was when he went 0-2, and then he went 1-1 in 2019, and then at the start of this year, 2020, in January, he lost to Chiesa, and that's what kind of screwed the pooch for him. That's what kind of just finished it, ended
Hey,
it.
he's on his way.
Yeah, now he's on his way back in the lightweight division. We have to keep in mind when he was in the lightweight division, he only lost to
The man, the myth, the legend.
yeah, when starting in 2012, I mean, he lost to a lot of people before then, but starting in 2012, because he's been in the UFC since 2008. So if we were to start in 2012, he went all the way up until the start of 2016. He went 10-1, having only lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov in that time. Became a UFC champion. Defended the belt successfully against Donald Cerrone, stole the belt from Anthony Pettis, successfully defended the belt against Donald Cerrone, and then unfortunately lost the belt to Eddie Alvarez. And then we all know the story of what happened with that afterwards. And then unfortunately lost to Tony Ferguson.
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Yeah, so we know where that happened, what that is, but then he unfortunately lost to Tony Ferguson, who we all know is a killer. That was part of Tony Ferguson's run of going, 12 and 0 in terms of, streaks.
Yeah.
And yeah, so unfortunately RDA was a part of that. But now he's come back. He's fought a great opponent like Paul Felder. I would be excited for RDA is to really see him go up against somebody who is in a camp training for him, maybe Islam. Kachev can make a comeback.
Yeah,
but it's kind of
try to reschedule that fight.
Yeah, or
maybe put him against McGregor.
Yeah, I've seen that floating around. Bullshit.
I'm still mad that we got robbed of that fight in 2015 or whatever, 2016.
Yeah. I'll say this: at the time, that would have been the fight.
At the time, it would have been amazing.
But now it's like
they're both just old now.
It's not that. It's not that.
I know.
First of all, let me reference Makhachev. Now that RDA has beat number 7 ranked Paul Felder, he's probably not going to want to fight number 11 ranked Makhachev. He's probably going to be looking for somebody above Felder, so maybe a Dan Hooker, maybe a Ferguson for a rematch in that department. Maybe even a Justin Gaethje. I'm not saying top 5. I'm saying maybe somewhere in that range.
It'd be fun to see Justin Gaethje.
Maybe a top 10 opponent. I'm sorry for Makhachev, but that ship has unfortunately sailed. We'll see. Maybe. I'd be fine to see that kind of fight.
Do you know what I want to see for Islam if they can't rebook this one?
What?
Him versus Dan Hooker.
Why not, right?
Because that would be, I feel like that'd be a fun one.
Why not?
Yeah, Dan Hooker just fought Dustin, lost. He's looking for somebody. RDA just won.
Yeah.
Didn't take that much damage except for a swollen eye real bad.
Yeah. Now, and the thing about McGregor is we already know he's fighting.
Supposedly.
Quotes, yeah.
Supposedly.
Fighting Dustin Poirier.
The Irish are taking over.
In maybe January.
Supposed to be.
Early 2021, whatever the fuck.
Literally a year after his Donald Cerrone fight.
Yeah. Yeah, real busy 2020 you had there, McGregor.
Yeah, real busy. You had one commercial on ESPN and one fight with Donald Cerrone that was 40 seconds. You made millions probably. Didn't have to do nothing. Yeah. I'm calling you out, Conor McGregor. You're taking everything I ever worked for, motherfucker. I'm going to fight your fucking ass.
Oh, that's the money fight.
That's the money fight. You better be wearing the red panties. Who the fuck is this guy?
Oh, Nelly. Anyway, back to Paul Felder and Rafael dos Anjos.
No, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah, right. But I do want to talk about Paul Felder. Because obviously we talk about Rafael. He won. He did great. He was the fighter that was more prepared coming in.
Dude, Paul is the real Triple C.
Yeah. Paul Felder, no, for real. Paul Felder is a warrior, okay? He went into this
Irish
fight
Dragon, motherfucker.
On 5 days' notice, made the weight, and he had a lot to say about people that don't make the fucking weight for their fights because he killed himself on Thursday.
We're talking to you, Little Burns.
He killed himself.
We haven't forgot about you, Little Burns.
Yeah, just so that he could fucking make this weight. And so he was like, if none of you assholes can make this weight, then fuck you. It's basically what he said. I'm
I
paraphrasing, obviously.
made this weight so I could get my ass kicked. Now
Yeah.
you can do it too.
Yeah. And so yeah, so then, you know, and he never had any quit in him. He would
Never.
not quit. Not even when he was in anytime he was taken down by fucking Rafael. And
There
keep in
was
mind,
definitely a submission attempt in there somewhere. Fuck
somewhere, yeah. And
Fuck you, stats.
yeah, there was definitely Paul Felder definitely threw in a fucking guillotine choke at one point.
Yeah.
So fuck that. Fuck your requirements, you bitch. But Rafael obviously had the huge advantage.
Wow,
in grappling.
6 out of 22 attempts. Jesus.
Yeah.
22 attempts.
He definitely had the advantage in the grappling. He in some areas of the striking, it was actually very, very even. I would say
very close. But
I was actually really surprised to see Paul Felder come out in round 4 and get that takedown.
Yeah, he just had to go for something.
Yeah, that was crazy, and it was true. Like, you have to mix it up. The one thing that I really wanted
to see, they're not expecting is for you to take them down after you've been on your ass the whole time.
Yeah, for real.
They go, what?
Got reversed really easily, but gotta take it.
We don't need to talk about that. We're trying to look at the positives, Garrett.
And the thing I wanted to see more from Paul Felder, though, that I think would have been most effective is just more kicks. He needed to keep Rafael at a certain range, and I think kicks would have really helped with that. But unfortunately, he just didn't really utilize it. He threw, I feel like a good front kick down the middle would have been really helpful in some instances. He was doing really good with that front teep kick right to the body. That was really effective in a lot of scenarios. Go back to that leg kick. I felt like that would have helped out a lot too. That would have helped out a lot with the grappling situations to avoid those. He was doing a lot of the high kicks, and that kind of helps with the range. But Rafael just has such good high guard. That's why I kept suggesting front kicks down the middle. Unfortunately, it just never came to fruition. He needed to create a lot more separation from the cage, which obviously is hard to do when you got a black belt in jiu-jitsu on your ass. But there were a couple of times where he could have created the space he needed to and got away. But he kind of does what some fighters do, where they're like, okay, now I'm in a better position to try and put pressure on him and take him down. And they kind of get into that mindset, and then it kind of fucks them up, because then it wastes their time, because they're obviously not going to advance against someone who's better in the grappling department than they are. And all it's going to do is give Rafael a chance to take a breather and eventually get the chance to reverse the position. But that just goes to show you, even with how even it was, the holes in Paul Felder's game that probably would have been filled in had he actually had time to train, which is always one of the things you think about whenever a fighter takes a fight on short notice.
Unless you're Nate Diaz.
And even, well, I mean, if you're Nate Diaz, fucking Michael Bisping, or that guy we watched who almost lost to that guy from Dagestan or Russia. I have to go back and watch the logs on that. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
about. But yeah, so this was I wanted to bring this up. What the fuck is this? I don't know why.
What is it?
That. This is a video of Paul Felder 37 minutes after his
why are
performance.
you doing this to me?
He's getting I'm not, okay. Let me scroll down. Basically, it's Paul Felder actually talks about some of his stuff that was going on. What was going through his mind, what was some of the stuff he was thinking about after the fight with Dos Anjos. I highly recommend you watch even just the highlight video of this. It's on MMA Junkie. There's the full 37-minute video, or I'm sorry, 37 minutes of Paul Felder getting stitched up, and he's just talking about the fight. He's talking about a lot of the holes he had. One of the things he talks about that I thought was really interesting was he was like, what's a good little victory I hold for myself in my head? And I guess like one of his partners was just like, what? And he said that out of both men, which one of us is more willing to go in there and do it again? And he was like, obviously he's talking about himself. Like out of both him and Rafael dos Anjos, out of the two of them, even though he lost, he's more willing to get in there and do it again. Which is kind of like this
goddamn man.
Yeah, and they even reference the first Rocky movie, which I'd always do all the time. And people hate it when you reference Rocky when you're talking about MMA, but it's true. And somebody referenced it. Even Paul Felder agreed that it's like when Apollo Creed won the fight against Rocky, but at the end of the movie, he said there ain't gonna be no rematch. And Rocky was like, yeah. And so like Paul Felder is actually and actually Paul Felder, and I guess what they're trying to say is actually better than Rocky in that sense, because Rocky was like, I don't want one. But Paul Felder was like, I would want one. Like if they offered it to me, I'd do it again on another 2 days notice.
And I've never seen Stallone rocking a stash like that.
Oh God, the stash on Felder, man. Look at that shit.
My thing's freaking out for some reason.
Oh, that sucks. But yeah, so there's that. That's going to be in the description as well. So 2 very helpful little links there you guys can have. And I think, Lincoln, do you have anything else you want to say about this shit?
Not about this, man, but I just want to go ahead and throw out there that everybody's back on UFC 3 because we've all decided that UFC 4 sucks. So all the people that was calling Garrett out for his video, you can go fuck yourself, my guy, because there's nobody playing UFC 4 no more. We're all back to 3. Bring it. Anybody wants to come get some, I'm standing right here.
Yep. Until EA cuts the servers for it. So
don't talk to me like that.
You know what's funny? Okay, so real quick, before we go, something serious. Guys, we are at 59 subs. All we need is 1 more sub to reach 60 subs.
60. Let's get there. And then we need 40 more after that to get to 100.
Okay.
And after that, we only need 990 to get to 1,000.
All right.
And then after that, we only need 10,000 more of those to get, or to 9,000 more of those to get to 10,000.
Did you say 990 to get to 1,000? That would be
with 100. Oh yeah, I'm fucking stupid.
You should have just said 900.
I should have just said 900. Okay, get out of my face.
Back to the seriousness. Make sure you guys just one more. We'll get to the we'll get to the big 6-0, and
we got over 10,000 views on this channel total. That means so many of you never subscribed, and I want you to go back, hit this comment, like button, the subscribe. I want you to hit the bell icon even, so you get notifications. And then while you're at it, I want you to go right behind the like button. I want you to rear naked choke, get the life out of it.
Yeah,
that's what I want you to do. Have a great day,
body
guys.
Slam that. Yeah, and also if you guys do get to the big 6-0 and we reach that goal, we will have something awesome planned for all of our subscribers that have been with us and helping us along with this. So
like something dreamy.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So thanks again. And we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. And yeah, peace out, y'all.